Alright, we're going to look at graphing quadratic equations, and these turn out to be things that are nonlinear. Alright, so here we want to graph the equation y equals x squared plus 2. One of our graphing methods we used was a t-chart, and we can use that for this as well. So I'm going to put a column here to represent the x, and a column over here to represent y, and then in here this is all going to be y equals x squared plus 2. So I'm going to pick some values for x. Let's say we pick some positive numbers and some negative numbers. I'm going to pick negative 2, negative 1, pick 0, pick 1, and I'll pick 2. If we put negative 2 in here, we have negative 2 squared plus 2. Well, negative 2 times negative 2 is 4. 4 plus 2 is 6. Continuing on, if I put negative 1 in there, I'm going to square that and then add 2. Well, negative 1 times negative 1 is 1. 1 plus 2 is 3. If I put 0 in there, if I square 0 and then add 2, 0 times 0 is 0. 0 plus 2 is 2. If we put a 1 in there for x, we have 1 squared plus 2. Well, 1 times 1 is 1, and then 1 plus 2 gives us 3. If we put a 2 in there and square it, then add 2, we get 2 squared is 4. 4 plus 2 is 6. So now I'm going to take these points and graph them on the coordinate plane over here. So negative 2, 6. We have a point here. Negative 1, 3. Point there. 0, 2. 1, 3. And 2, 6. And if we connect this, we get like a curve. This is called a parabola. So when you get a curve like this, we call that a parabola. Okay, for this one we've got to graph the equation y equals x squared minus 2x minus 8. So I'm going to create another t-chart. Column for x, column to represent the equation, and the column for the y. I'm going to start with 4 here and just get a bunch of points in here. If we put 4 in here, we have 4 squared minus 4 times 2 minus 8. Well, that gets us 16 minus 8 minus 8, which turns out to be 0. If we put a 3 in there, 3 squared minus 2 times 3 minus 8, which gives us 9 minus 6 minus 8, which turns out to be negative 5. If we put a 2 in there, we get 2 squared minus 2 times 2 minus 8, which is 4 minus 4 minus 8, which is negative 8. If we put a 1 in there, we get 1 squared minus 2 times 1 minus 8. So that gives us 1 minus 2 minus 8, which is negative 9. We put a 0 in there, 0 squared minus 2 times 0 minus 8 is going to give us a negative 8. Put negative 1 in there and square it. So negative 1 squared is positive 1. Then we have a negative 2. Negative 2 times a negative 1. And then minus 8. When we put all that together, that turns out to be negative 5. We take negative 2 square that, minus 2 times negative 2, and then minus 8, that gives us 0. So we're going to graph these points. Now we got a point at 4, 0. We have a point at 3, negative 5. We have a point at 2, negative 8. And a point at 1, negative 9. We have a point at 0, negative 8. Point at negative 1, negative 5. And we have a point at negative 2, 0. So when we connect this, again, we're going to make a parabola. Give us this curve. And this one has some zeros. So if we're looking for the zero of the function, we would say the zero of the function here is when x equals negative 2 and x equals 4. That gives us the zeros of the function, which is this one and this one.